What's up? Welcome back to JourneyInBeauty. This is my second take for this video. I had a major malfunction with my iPhone X, which I only got 2 weeks ago. So I took that puppy back to the store today and got a new one, and now we're rolling again. Unfortunately, my phone had not backed up since I recorded the video on Tuesday, and so it is gone, and we have to record this again. But anyhow, this video is my December favorites and fails. And yes, I know we're well into January, but give me a break. I'm just getting started here. So yeah, if you're interested in that type of video, go ahead and stay tuned. So we'll start with the favorites, because I like to keep things positive. The first item I have here, you may have seen me use if you watched my first video, and that is the Urban Decay Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done Hybrid Complexion Perfector Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I think this guy runs about $35, and I wear it in the shade Medium Light. I really like this. I'm learning the longer that I'm using makeup again that I'm not interested in a full coverage foundation anymore. I really want something that's easy to throw on with a sponge or a brush, and it's just a your skin but better type coverage. I can still see my skin through. If I don't do concealing, you can see freckles or age spots or anything like that. But I don't mind that. That's my skin, and most times these days my skin's pretty good. So yeah, some people claim this is like a cream to powder finish. I wouldn't call it a powdery finish, maybe more like a satin finish. It's what I'm wearing on my face today. And most days. I really love this and will definitely repurchase this in the future. So favorite, Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done. The second thing that we have, and I'm not a big fan of when people claim to be obsessed with everything makeup related on YouTube, but I am literally obsessed with these and can't imagine changing out this product anytime soon, and that is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. Let's see, that's better lighting. This one's kind of a white with a gold shift, and this one's kind of a beige. Cool beige, let's say. This is called Dim Light, and this is called Diffused Light. And the idea behind these powders, they are finishing powder, so the very last step after you've done everything else on your face, you put these on, and based on the kind of light reflectors and colors that they have in these powders, it will give your face a life or a light of that realm. So diffused light and dim light, if that gives you any idea. The thing I love about these is they're so soft. I don't think a finger swatch really accurately does it any justice. It almost looks chalky, but they're so smooth, so finely milled. This lighter one is literally the only powder I've found that I can set my under eyes with that doesn't make them look 1,000 years old and super, super dry. So I really love that. And then this guy I use all over my face. And it just, again, kind of gives me this natural glow that I'm hoping you can see with the lighting in here. These are the minis. They run about $24, I believe. They also have blushes, which we'll talk about in another video. And minis can be a great way to try a product or even a brand that you've never tried before, like it was for me with Hourglass. And make sure that you know what you're getting into before you spend, I think it's $45 for the full size. But these guys, I don't know how much you'll be able to tell in the pan. They are slightly domed. I think even the minis will last quite a while, and I'll definitely be ordering a full size of at least this one when I run out. So yeah, definitely a favorite. And then the next favorite, which is our last face product here, is the Pixi by Petra, and it's called Correction Concentrate Brightening Peach. Let's see here. Focus. Okay, maybe not. Anyhow, this is just a pretty standard peach corrector. The difference with this one being it is super emollient. I mean, you can kind of see from the sheen there. And I'll do a little swatch as well. It's a nice peach corrector. It's emollient, it's smooth, it doesn't feel dry or anything like that. And I, in my skin tone, actually can get away on the days where I have dark circles. I don't know, do I have them today? Not so much. If I put this on top of my dry circles, I can literally just get away with that. Some color correctors you may or may not need to put another concealer over top. And for those of us that are getting more mature or are more mature, the less layers under the eyes, the better, I'm finding. So I love this, especially on a no makeup kind of day. I will just put this under my eyes and skip the concealer, and that's it. You can get Pixi by Petra at Target. It's a little bit higher priced for I feel like my glasses look crooked. It's a little bit higher price for a drugstore brand, but you can also shop on their direct sale website, which I plan to do because I have other products by Pixi that I really enjoy. So yeah, give this guy a try. The next thing on our favorites list for December is some Morphe brushes. And I have 3 here. The first one is just a fluffy blending brush, and it is the M504. This one is great. I can set my eye primer with it if I choose to. It's great for transition or crease shade even. It's just a great blending brush, and it just diffuses the shadow and helps it to just look seamless and just blown out, and I really love that. And then the next one is the M433. It's a fairly popular brush. He's a fluffy crease brush. He's a little pinched at the ferrule, and then the bristles are very fluffy. This is a natural bristle brush. I'm guessing this one's synthetic, but I couldn't swear to it. This one's great for remove glasses, placing color in this outside part, either of the lid or the crease, and working that in. You know, you certainly could lay color all over the crease with it, and I really like it. It's one of my go-to everyday brushes. And then this next or last Morphe brush that I have here is this little tapered brush. It's the M507, and I'll link these down, not link, but I will list these down below. And honestly, I'm learning when it comes to putting on eyeshadow, the tricks and tips really have to do with the brushes and then the formula of the eyeshadow. And everybody's different in terms of what brushes they like to use, what brands. These are relatively inexpensive. I believe these were anywhere from $6 to $8 on the Ulta website, or you of course can order from Morphe, and they have a lot more options on the Morphe website. So to me, it's worth investing in my brushes. I kind of wanted to start here with Morphe. I have one MAC brush, which is actually really similar to this crease brush, and I'll list that one down below too in case you're interested in MAC brushes. Excuse me. So yeah, get yourself some decent brushes and you can't go wrong. I really like these, make a difference in my eyeshadow routine. And then the very last thing for favorites for this month, maybe will surprise some people and maybe it won't. I've heard mixed reviews on this, but I love the Tarte Clay Volume 1. There's a Volume 2 out now. There's definitely some controversy where that's concerned, but you can check that out on YouTube as well. This is what the palette looks like. You're gonna see a little reflect because this is gold packaging in here. You get a nice size mirror. These up here are meant to be face shades. I use this one for bronzer and this one more for contouring because it's a cool brown. This dark one for my skin tone wouldn't ever be anything but an eyeshadow, but that's okay. You know, all of these are both eye and face safe. Then you have some of these larger pans, which work great for setting your eye primer, even setting under your eye. They're nice and finely milled. It smells like cocoa powder, which I'm not mad about. It's not a selling point for me necessarily, but it doesn't hurt me anyhow. And then you just have a lot of great neutral eyeshadow colors in here. Anything that you could need to sort of set up your eyeshadow look, and you could use any other palette with this. And that's what I like about it. I don't need, I know some people will complain and talk about, well, this shadow palette doesn't have a brow bone highlighter. This other shadow palette does not have a transition color or what have you. I don't really want half of my shadows in every palette that I buy to be brown. I like new and unique colors, and I'm somewhat of an eyeshadow junkie. So this helps me to know that I always have exactly what I need. I think it would be great for traveling. It has this magnetic closure, which is very sturdy. And if you don't have anything like this in your collection, I think it would be a great addition, because then you always know that you have those transition colors in your brow bone and crease colors, and then just dig into those colored shadows, which is what I would rather have more of in my collection. So that's that one. Now, the first one on my fails for December, I actually don't have anymore. Number one, it took me quite a while to decide if I was going to do YouTube or not. And so I didn't specifically save it for that. And also, my reaction to it was bad, and which I'll get more into in a minute. But it really made me not want to pass it on to anybody. I just ended up dumping it and recycling it. And what that product is the NYX mattifying setting spray. And it comes in a little black spritzer bottle. If I can find one, I'll insert a picture here or add a picture here. I'm learning editing still. But it definitely holds on to your makeup, and it definitely mattifies. And if that's what you're going for and you don't have sensitive skin, which I wouldn't necessarily say that I do, but in this case, there was definitely a reaction. But what I didn't like about it initially is that I could feel the alcohol in the spray when I would put it on, which of course does help the longevity of your makeup and help mattify because it'll absorb any oils in your skin. But also, it has denatured alcohol in it, and we can talk more about ingredients and all what they're used for and things like that in the future. But basically, denatured alcohol is not something that you want, especially in something that you're putting directly on your skin. And so I had stopped using it for a setting spray for that reason. So then I thought, well, how can I use this product up that I've purchased? And I thought, well, maybe I'll use it for a setting spray for foiling eyeshadows. Big mistake. So I tried to do that, and not only did it result in like a itching and burning when I put the shadows on, but then throughout the day, if I got dewy or misty or sweaty at all, I could feel that burning and tingling and itching on my eyelids again. And so that was it. That's at that point when I have a reaction, I'm just not gonna give that to anybody else, or in case they would have the same reaction. So that one I don't have, but I definitely would never repurchase that, and I don't recommend that you do either. And also look at the ingredients on your cosmetics and skincare and things like that. If alcohol is in it, and of course there's different kinds of alcohol, but specifically denatured alcohol or alcohol denate, you don't want that in your skincare. All that does is dry things up. It causes me to produce oil at the end of the day anyways, because the alcohol dried out my skin, and oily skin will produce alcohol when it's dehydrated. So there's that. So next up, this is just a fine product or a meh product. This is the Ulta Beauty Color Switch or New Hue Shadow Switching Pan. I saw quite a few YouTubers using products similar to this. When I first started watching YouTube, this is what it looks like. Let's see, good lighting. And we have this rough, spongy surface here. And then in the middle, this little pan comes out. And in the middle of this pan is a softer sponge material. And this is meant if you wanted to put a brush cleaner in it and clean your brush in a wet way, you could use it like that. But mostly, I see people using their brush on here like this. Like this guy is a little dirty from today, and you just rub it back and forth on there in different ways. And as you can see, it looks exactly the same. And of course, some shadow pigments, and I did use some ABH shadows today, and they're very pigmented. They are gonna dye your bristles a little bit unless you get them wet and use a soap and things like that. But overall, I just wasn't that impressed with this. I just thought I would be so much more impressed. And there's, you know, there's better or more expensive ones out there that you can get, and that might be, you know, a way to go if you still want to try something like this. I thought the idea of it, being able to switch from a darker to a lighter shadow using the same brush, since I'm still building my brush collection, might be a nice way. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. I'm getting over my cold still. But basically, I could live without it. Will I probably try and continue to still use it? Maybe. But it's really not necessary, and it was just meh for me. So not a complete fail, but nothing too exciting there. And then the next product was these Tweezerman Mini Tweezers. And not only are they pink and cute, but I feel like they have a pretty good point to them, which is always good when you're looking for a tweezer. But herein lies the problem. When I started to try and use this on my brows, it either cut or broke the hair follicle, which makes for some really crazy looking regrowth in my eyebrows, and I was not cool with that. You know, I know Tweezerman makes good tweezers. A lot of people use them, and you know, I've looked at others. This was me being a cheap ass and only wanting to pay $10 and thinking I could get away with that. Whereas their other tweezers are more in the 20 and up range. So yeah, I won't be using these on my brows again. I'm sure I could use them for first aid or other things where I might need a little tweezer. I have a lot of cacti in my house, and I do occasionally get a poke, so these might come in handy for that. But I would not recommend them for your brows. Oh, one thing I forgot to say about the color switch is my preferred method to this, actually, in between color cleaning or a daily cleaner, if I did a really dark eye look and my brushes are looking pretty dark and I don't want them to muddy up future shadow looks is this e.l.f. Daily Brush Cleaner here. And this is about $3. You can get it anywhere that e.l.f. is sold. It smells pretty good. It almost has a cucumber-y melon smell to it, but not obnoxiously or fake or anything. More to the cucumber side. But all you do with this, and I find it works really good, is that you just spray on the brush. And then I always have washcloths in my bathroom when I'm doing your makeup, and you just go back and forth on a clean washcloth, obviously. And it takes the color off of it, or at least, you know, the color that's going to affect any future eyeshadow looks. I do try and wash my brushes probably every other week. My beauty blenders or makeup sponges, I wash more than that. But brushes, you know, and that's my favorite kind of in-between cleaning situation for my brushes. So I forgot to tell you that. That's a love. I totally recommend that. This last one falls into the hate category. I picked this Maybelline Master Camo color correcting pen. They call it Apricot is the color for dark circles. Light to medium skin tones. I don't know if you guys would be able to see that or not. Light to medium skin tones. Okay, let's keep this in mind. First of all, I'm not crazy about the applicator. It's this sort of curved sponge here, and this is also kind of giving away a part of why I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer that has that sort of spongy stuff on top. I just find it really gross. I feel like it holds on to old product versus being able to wipe it off. You just can't clean it, and it ekes me out. Call me OCD. So anyhow, though, when you twist the bottom on this and you get the product up, and let me show you a swatch here of this Apricot Corrector for light to medium skin tones. Can you see it? I feel like Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings when it comes to this product. We hates it. It's so dark. It's like a terracotta flower pot color. And I tried putting it under my eyes and thought, this is darker than what I'm trying to cover up. So I did a little online research. And it says, well, you're supposed to cover it up with a concealer afterwards. That didn't work either. Even with some of my more fuller coverage concealers that I have, it didn't cover up the darkness of this, which again was darker than what I was trying to cover up in the beginning. And it's just ridiculous. And it says it's for light to medium skin tone. I would call myself light to medium, more to the light side during the winter and more to the medium side in the summer. And there's no way this would ever work for me. Here's that Pixi Corrector. Oops, smeared. Here's that Pixi Corrector in comparison to the Maybelline one. And you can see what I'm saying here. I hate it. I know that they have a lighter pink one, and that might work for some people, especially if you're very fair. It didn't work for me. The Pixi is a much better option. Like I said, I can wear the Pixi one without any concealer. And when you're talking about under your eyes, especially as you get older, and you start to get fine lines and wrinkles and dryness under there, the less layers that you're putting under your eyes, the better. Otherwise, it just accentuates what you're trying to conceal. So that's all. That's my favorites and fails for the month of December. You'll notice my phone is not falling down today because I did invest in a tripod for my phone, and we also have a ring light on the way. So hopefully these videos will just get better and better. I realize the glare on my glasses might get annoying at times, but I feel like I look funny without them, even though I do own contacts. So bear with me as I figure this all out. We are on a journey in beauty after all. And if you like this video, if you like this content, if you have any ideas, comment down below, like and subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out. And so I know what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future. So that's all for this video, and I'll see you real soon.